Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the M2. So today we will be talking about sound. It's something usually that we don't talk too much about, but one of the things that bugs me about the M2 is the highway drone. So this car came with the M Performance exhaust from the factory. It was installed on the build sheet by the previous owner, and BMW put it on from the factory. It's a really cool sounding exhaust, and I really like it for everything except sitting on the highway. Right around 2,700 to 3,200 RPM, which is highway speed somewhere between about 68 to 80 miles per hour, it just drones, and it is unbelievably annoying and unbelievably loud. Now, the problem is, this car is not my daily driver, so I don't want to get a different exhaust because I like how it sounds for everything else. But I have been doing a little bit of research, and there is a thing that BMW puts into their cars called ASD. ASD is active sound design, active sound control, basically. What it is fake noise that is played through the vehicle stereo speakers into the cabin, and it plays certain frequencies 180 degrees out of phase from their source. So for instance, if the engine is making 3,000 hertz noise and it's not good sounding, the stereo will play that out of phase to cancel that noise out. Or this same thing will add noise to the cabin to enhance the sound of the engine. Whether it does or doesn't is up for debate. That is not really the point of the video, of objectively how it sounds or subjectively how it sounds. I actually like the way the car sounds with the ASD. I've never heard it without the ASD. So today what we're going to try is we are going to take some measurements using two phone apps. One will be a sound pressure meter that records the intensity of sound in decibels, and then we will look at the analyzation of the noise frequency, and we will see exactly what frequency this highway drone is, and if removing ASD will reduce that. I've heard from a lot of people that it does, and at highway speed you're then able to easily hold a conversation with people that are in the car. So again, I've never heard the car without ASD, so we will go investigate that today, and it should be pretty cool. I will show you exactly what the apps look like right now. And I can explain how to view a sound chart, a color chart for sound, I don't even know what you would call it now, for sound frequency spectrums now as well. And it's pretty simple. The spectrogram visualizes the sound and breaks down the frequency and relative amplitude based on color. The more red the noise is, the louder it is. The frequency analyzer is a snapshot of the time scale. At any given point, you can look at the individual frequencies in one time and their relative amplitude. But basically, since this is only a highway noise, I'm just warming up the car now, driving to the road, and then I will set up the two devices and I will take screenshots of them and then post them in the video, and we will be able to discuss exactly what is going on in terms of the noise. Hopefully ASD will reduce the drone. There is a bypass that you can get for it. So if you pull the ASD fuse, it actually disables the entire sound system of the car, so the radio, infotainment, stuff like that, which is fine for experimentation purposes, but it will not be so good for everyday living, because you want radio and noises and things like that. So they make a little bypass harness that you plug into the stock amplifier in the trunk. So if this works, I will buy one of those, and then I will be yet again a happy M2 owner. Okay, so here we are going 65 miles an hour, so we are under the concern range. So let me set data, and then we will accelerate to speed and then set cruise control. So currently we are accelerating to speed, and I am setting cruise control at 3,000 RPM, which is 77 miles per hour. You can hear the drone in the car because it is quite difficult for me to talk above the drone. It seems reasonable to say that there's not one frequency that really stands out above all of them, but rather it seems as though the entire spectrum is just raised in terms of loudness. Now, you and I can tell just by hearing that the noise is a very low frequency noise, so it's probably around the 50 to 200 hertz range, and that's the kind of noise that sits in your lower ear canal and just doesn't really go anywhere. That is the sound of drone. It's very displeasing to me, and that's what I'm trying to remove. So here we are at the back of the car, and the fuse box to pull the fuse for ASD is located under here, behind the battery, up in that area. So BMW gives us a handy little guide to see what fuse goes to what thing, and if you look over here on this little keypad, none of these things specifically make sense, but you can make some, make sense of some. Like, this is heated seat, this would be power seat, this would be seatbelt pretensioner, OBD, fan blower, auto ride height, convertible top, and it lists the fuse number. Over here, this shows a diagram of the fuse box, and then where it is, which fuse box it is, the engine bay or the back seat one, and then where the fuse is inside the box. So I'm going to go pull fuse 122. So like I said before, when you pull the fuse for ASD, it also disables the entire amplifier system. So you won't get any beeps from the dash or any of the radio stations or anything like that. So I know that this fuse did in fact work because I no longer have any sound coming out with the radio on. So that's good. Just from immediately driving it around locally, I have a feeling that this is not going to be the solution to my issue, and rather the issue is more of a inherent design of the exhaust system. And once again, I will set cruise at 77 miles per hour. Give me 1 second to get through some traffic. It's always so hard to do these tests with traffic. Some people go so much faster than others, and some don't at all. Okay, cruise is now set. Now, subjectively, there appears to be no difference for ASD, which is a bit of a bummer because you still have that frequency that's hanging in your ear. Objectively, we'll have to look at the data soon, but that's a bit disappointing, honestly. Interesting. There is no perceptible difference based on the sound pressure measured inside the cabin or the spectrogram. However, there is a relative difference between the frequency analyzer for the low frequency noise. It seems for my exhaust drone noise, the only correct solution here is to get a non-M performance exhaust. That's a decision I'll have to make in the future, but for now, that is the end of today's video. I hope you learned a little bit about how to use some sound measurement equipment. Yeah! See you next time!